Hello, I'm Darsh Davis from Everything Horror Podcast and Everlasting Hauntings, and I would like to thank Mad Shelley Productions, Richard T. Wilson, and Lillian, the PR expert, PR queen, for this review opportunity. And I'm today reviewing a horror comic called Halloween Girl, Book 2, The Reckoning. So, Halloween Girl is a film that's cult classic film, and the Halloween part 1 had many different books and a hardcover book as well, and we reviewed it for our website, and this is a great opportunity to review the second book. And even if you haven't read the previous books, I would like to say that they are great, but it's not a necessary thing to read them before reading part 2. Of course, the first series of books are awesome, but even if you are a new fan or a new reader, Halloween Girl, The Reckoning is a great book to start with, because this book provides you with the backstory of the main character, Charlotte. So the Charlotte is a ghost, and you see her sitting next to a boy called Luke, who's playing with some boys, his friends, and Charlotte then becomes his friend, and she just asks him about his family, and he's also kind of reluctant at first, but then he becomes her friend. And then Luke tells his mom, Mary, about Charlotte, and we realize that there's some sort of uneasiness when it comes to name Charlotte, because mom has some trauma related to the name. And this comic actually explores both aspects, like Charlotte's life as a ghost, and then Luke's life and the past trauma of Luke's mother, Mary. So as the story progresses, you see some flashbacks, some dreams, and you get a hint at what really happened with Charlotte and Mary and Luke, of course, and what's in store for Luke in future. And I would like to say that this horror comic is one of the most unique horror comics, because it explores human relations, and also it explores the future of children, and how sometimes some human relations need to be taken care of, instead of just taking them for granted. And I like how this horror comic has been written, and the lettering and the art, everything is done very well. And I would say that it's even better than the first series, because you see that the characters, they're looking so realistic, yet you do feel that it's a comic, because it's like an artistic way of presenting them instead of just boring human beings. And it's scary, of course, because the dream sequences, the flashbacks, and the story itself is kind of scary. What really happens there, and what might have happened, or what can happen, all these things really scare you. So in my opinion, if you like horror comics, if you like good emotional stories, if you like action, you should definitely check out Halloween Girl, The Reckoning. And I would also recommend you to check out the first series. You can see the first book, the hardcover or even ebook of the Halloween Girl, The Promises to Keep. Then there are some quotes like waiting isn't living, and there are some great moments in the comic that make me want to say that this is just much more than a horror comic. And this horror comic does have some blood, but it's not full of violence, no mature content. So I would say that a teen and above is a great audience group for this. So anybody can read it. There are no foul words, no foul language, no violence, no mature content. So go for it. You can read it yourself with your children, with your grandchildren, because this is about human relations. And I'm pretty sure after reading this comic and knowing the story, your relations with your parents, your children, your siblings too, will improve, because this comic is not only about horror, it's also about human relations, it's about life. And which reminds me the second quote, that nobody gets a second chance, this is your one life, so try to make the most of out of it. So thank you, Richard, for this great writing and these quotes and messages. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching this video. Please do check us out on all the podcast platforms. Check out our social media, Everything Horror Podcast, Everlasting Hauntings, Haunted Vermont. And do check out Matt Shelley Comics. Thank you once again, Matt Shelley Comics, Richard and Lillian. And thank you, Paul. And thank you to the YouTube and all the audiences, whether you're on Spotify or on any other platform. Thank you so much for listening. This is Dusty signing out. Take care and stay scary.